Well, he's one of the best musicians in the world, but
He's won a place in your heart, I can see.
oh, he has. He's also he's just balls to the wall funny. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Blunt.
That's kind of scary phrase of balls to the wall, but go. But thank you, and great to talk to you.
Nice to speak to you again. There is a lot we want to talk about, but Carrie has just watched the clip to your new song, Monster.
I thought we were going to have some fun, but instead I want to go deep.
I want to go.
It is, honestly.
Yeah, balls to the wall.
Balls to
Let's
the
go
wall
deep. This is a real intimate interview.
There's definitely a theme coming out here, but
It is the most beautiful clip I think I've watched in a long time. I was very emotional watching it, and I could see you were very emotional in it.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it. It's about your dad.
yeah, my father is an ex-colonel in the army and has been my hero throughout my childhood. But then last year told me they had stage 4 chronic kidney disease. And so, realizing I didn't have much time necessarily with him in my life, I wrote a song called Monsters. The lyrics say, "I'm not your son, you're not my father, we're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive.
Oh,
No
God,
need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine." And it's pretty heavy stuff. And an amazing thing, then I got to make a video with him and he looks fantastic in it.
Yes, you're a lot more.
I'm sorry. It's made me really sad.
You're a lot. Oh, because you're crying. I mean, don't let this put you off. Make sure you do watch the video. It is a beautiful
It
video.
is so beautiful.
I like the
think
way
it's-
you squeal while you cry.
Oh, no. I just think, having suffered loss in my life, and I think there's so many people that would watch that, and even though it's about your dad, it just, it would be something that a lot of people would feel watching that. I think it's an experience that many
Yeah.
people have. It just is slightly different for everybody.
Yeah. I think the amazing thing about that kind of thing is it's a really personal grief, isn't it? That yet we all go through it at different stages, and I think that's what
Absolutely.
has touched people in different ways. It was amazing making. Anyway, the video was amazing because I was blubbing my eyes out, and the crew were blubbing their eyes out, and he was just looking at us all, going, "What are you doing?" I'm here. And he looks.
Well, it
great
is
on
like a
camera.
eulogy in a way to someone that's still with you.
Yeah, and I kind of thought exactly. There's no point in having a eulogy after your death. You might want to hear it, so I put it out while he's still around. I have told him though, Dad. If you do pop your clogs, I'll probably sell more of the song.
But I believe Tommy was telling me, though, that your dad has now received the transplant. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. As over my trip here in Australia, he's getting it as we speak now. So hopefully, when I get back, I'll hear if it's all taken and if it's up and running. We'll find out. Fingers crossed.
It is a strange. Well, we'll have our fingers and toes crossed and everything as well for you. It's a strange thing. Men talking to their dads. I mean, I love my dad, but we don't talk. Like we don't.
Yeah.
As in, we'll go to the footy and we'll watch the footy together, but we don't speak.
Are you going to write him a song?
I'm
Is that-
exactly the same. But British men, Australian men, I think are very similar in that way. That I'm very close to my father, and he's looked after me all his life and continues to do so. But I've never had an emotional conversation with him in my life about anything, and I really haven't needed to, I suppose, until this moment where I realise I haven't got much time. But otherwise, we're just kind of fine as we are.
Can I ask you what has made him such a great dad?
Well, like most parents, I think it's I suppose you only really recognise it when you have children yourself, isn't it? That incredible time that they put in, patience that they have with you, energy, effort, love, money. I mean, everything is orientated as a parent. You are effectively almost become slaves to these little children, don't you? And you continue to look after them, and even you can see it in my song now. As you watch that video, you see me or you hear me singing about how I am there now to look after you. It's my turn to chase the monsters away, how I will be the one looking after you as you get older. But you watch the video and I'm the one blubbing my eyes out and he's the one patting my arm saying, "Don't worry, son, you'll get through this." He's always going to be the father figure.
It's an amazing clip. If you haven't watched it, get online and watch Monsters. It's incredible. James, I'm going to make quite a big U-turn now because I realised after talking to you the other night that I think you do life very well. You've got a nightclub in your house. You own
What?
James lives in Ibiza and has a nightclub in his house.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool.
And
It's fun.
you own a pub, and a lot of people give me financial advice, and I don't want any of it, but I would like it from you. How should I spend my money?
On alcohol.
You already do that.
Yeah.
Because people have always said things like pubs are bad investments, but then you the other night you said it's great.
It is so much fun having a pub. And I highly recommend getting one for yourself. And you know what? They're coming up for sale all over the place nowadays because everyone's losing money on them.
So it's not a great investment. It's
But
just something
Do you
fun
know
to
what?
do.
Well, my thinking really was, well, actually, no, it was basic for me. It was my local pub. It's called the Fox and Pheasant, but it was so disgusting we called it the Fox and Unpleasant. And and I sat in there thinking, if this ever came up for sale, what would you do with it? And I never expected it to come up for sale, but it did. And people were bidding and bidding to make it into apartments, flats. And I thought, hang on, no, this is my job as a pop star to buy this and keep it the pub that it has been for 170 years. And I spent a year and a half varnishing it and sanding it down, varnishing it, and making it look absolutely amazing. And now when people say, "Hey, where should we go out tonight?" I say, "I've got a pub. I own a pub." And we go out there, and I get to choose the beer that's in my pub and choose the wine and go through the menu, and it's the best thing I've ever had, other than build a nightclub at the end of my garden.
Isn't that what? Didn't Ed Sheeran just make a pub? Build a pub? Hasn't he just got a pub?
Is Ed ripping off your ideas?
Not again.
Because I was reading it. Isn't he godfather to one of your kids?
He is, yeah. To my youngest. Yeah, you know what? Exactly. We seem to have similar good ideas. He's got. I've been in his pub and it's fantastic. But his is on private property, so tougher to get.
Okay,
Tougher to get punters in. But mine's open to the public.
When you say you live in, is it Ibiza or Ibiza? Have we discussed what?
Ibiza, yeah.
Ibiza, okay.
Yeah, totally.
But is that, do you, and this is going to be a weird question, but from afar living in Ibiza, the idea of what life would be is quite hectic. But I'm guessing your life is just, with kids and all of that school, it's a lot more normal than from afar living in Ibiza would sound.
Yeah, well, for me, I am a touring musician, and so I go out on these extended tours for 18 months at a time. And then when I finish my tour, I kind of think, okay, well, I need to go home now. And then I don't have much time at home, and then I go out on another tour. So I just thought, well, I might as well have my home where I'd like to be on holiday as well.
I mean, it's very smart.
So let's just compact holiday and home all in one space. So Ibiza, I love nightclubs, and I love the Mediterranean, and I like the Spanish people, and the food and the weather. It all makes sense out there. So let's just have a home in Ibiza, and it's just really amazing. And then as you have children, then it makes sense to have your nightclub really close to you, because then at least you can go to the nightclub, and if your bed is 30 meters away, you can literally drag yourself from the club back there. And then also, I suppose, if you've got children, when they're old enough, they can go do a club as well, but down the
in
end
the
of the
safety
garden,
of your own
in the
home.
safety of your own home.
Yes.
So it all makes sense. I got a sponsorship from a vodka firm who sent me 500 bottles of vodka. In the first year, we got through 50 bottles, which means I had 9 years worth left. And then P. Diddy got in touch. He gave me 400 bottles. So I'm like, I'm getting close to half a lifetime's worth of vodka. I can bathe in this stuff. And I've got my big neon sign behind it, so everyone knows it's my club. It says Blunty's Nightclub, where everybody's beautiful. And if you drink enough of this vodka, they really are.
I want to go to Ibiza.
Yeah.
Go to your nightclub.
Come
Yeah.
on, I'll put
Put
your name
that
down
on
on
my
the
vision
list.
board.
I'll put your name down on the list. You're in.
What
Is your door chick nice?
She's called Svetlana. She's a mannequin who I bought from a mannequin shop. And she's not my first girl who works on the door. There was another one called Nadia whose back was broken in a late night experiment, and I've actually buried her in a shallow grave wearing an ex-girlfriend's wedding dress, and that's a true story.
I'm surprised you had the wedding dress.
Well, that's why she became an ex-girlfriend, because she turned up with a wedding dress, and I said, thank you, but no thank you. Adios.
What music do you listen to when you go clubbing?
I don't really like music, if I'm totally honest. And I suppose when you're clubbing, you don't really have a choice, do you? It's whatever the DJ puts on. But I go a lot to Pasha, Ibiza's most famous nightclub, and my song on my second album, the first single from that, is called 1973, and it's called that, named after this nightclub Pasha, which opened in 1973. And for me, that was awesome because Pete Tong, the DJ, had a residency there, and he played that song in there. So I'd be in the club, listening to my song about the club that I was in. It was great.